Welcome to the Perimenopause Podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about what actually happens to your body, your brain, and your metabolism in perimenopause without all the bullshit, without the shame, and without being told your labs are normal. I'm Sav, the founder of Savage Fitness, and today we're going to talk about something that most of us women are feeling, but no one is necessarily talking about. Stay tuned. You know, the question that I dread every single day is, what do you want to eat for dinner? And I hate this because I want my husband to, ask me. I want him to care enough. And he always does. He's so accommodating to me. But I just have the hardest time answering this question. And it wasn't always this way. I used to be a very decisive woman, okay? I have literally, several times in my life, gone to the car dealership, test driven one car, and bought that car. Several times in my life, I have done this. I have also several times gone to look at a house or an apartment, and it's the first one that I looked at, and I'm like, yep, I'm moving in, okay? Multiple times I have bought designer bags and I just walk in, I grab one bag, try it on, buying it. I am very decisive. And it wasn't until these last couple years that I realized I don't even know how to order when we go to a restaurant. I will I will sit there and just stare at the menu. And it's so fucking annoying because not only does it take me forever to make simple decisions, which in my brain means I'm losing moments of my life every single time I do that. Every single time I don't know what I want to order for breakfast, for example, I'm losing 5 to 10 minutes out of my life. And I hate that shit. I hate wasting time. But anyway, we'll go down that rabbit hole later. Suddenly I am unable to make decisions. Okay. And imagine if small decisions feel so overwhelming, how big decisions feel. They're fucking paralyzing. Jake and I are living abroad right now. For example, we just moved into, I think, our 5th or 6th Airbnb since August. It's now January. And we're trying to decide what country we want to visit next. And I fucking can't decide. I can't decide. So we're just staying here for another 6 months, which is great. We love it here. But making decisions is a really important part of our lives, especially high functioning women, business owners, entrepreneurs. You need to be able to be decisive, because if you can't be decisive, then like I said before, you're losing time. You're literally wasting time that you can't get back. And you might also get to the point where you have to make a decision and then you're crunched for time and you make a quick decision and it might not be the best one. So decision making is important. So we got to figure this shit out. So if you can relate, I want you to know that this isn't just who you are now. It does have to do with perimenopause, but what's actually happening is neurological, not emotional. Basically, the breakdown of what's going on here is estrogen drops in perimenopause, right? We all know this, or maybe we don't. Estrogen drops in perimenopause, if you didn't know. And estrogen plays a direct role in dopamine production. Okay, very interesting, right? Our brain, our body is a fucking machine. Everything, works in conjunction with one another. So estrogen plays a direct role in dopamine production and receptor sensitivity. And dopamine isn't just your feel-good chemical. It's actually essential for motivation, clarity, and decision-making. All right. Now, when I ran my labs, my dopamine was at the fucking bottom, dude. It's so interesting because it validated a lot of what I was feeling. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God, No wonder I have trouble like actually feeling happiness when I do things that used to make me feel happy. No wonder I have a difficult time like really enjoying being intimate. No wonder. And it's not such a quick and easy fix, you know? So I want to mention that a lot of times when we realize that we're in perimenopause, we realize our estrogen is dropping, we go to the doctor, and the first and most common thing that I hear is, well, let's get you on HRT and let's get you on estrogen. That doesn't necessarily fix these things because, for example, my estrogen, it had dropped, but it was still in a healthy place. Okay. So if I got on estrogen, if I got on HRT, it wouldn't have necessarily corrected this dopamine issue because I wasn't in need of more estrogen. What I was in need of was a healthier, higher functioning liver so my liver could actually detox the estrogen that I had. Okay, this is something we really commonly find is that a lot of women in perimenopause, they are still at a healthy level of estrogen, but their body's not detoxing it very well. Okay, I know this is like a side tangent. I don't know if you guys care, but I feel like it's really important information because I see this shit all the time. And if you just put an HRT Band-Aid on things, it's going to make shit worse. Okay, and like I said, it doesn't just correct the dopamine. And dopamine is really fucking important, all right? So as estrogen fluctuates in perimenopause, your dopamine signaling can drop or become inconsistent. And what I noticed with this is that since I couldn't really feel happiness, I was looking for synthetic happiness. You know, I started drinking a lot. I started, using recreational drugs a lot because I just needed to fucking feel something. I went through and kind of still go through a lot of guilt when it comes to this. And I know that you're probably thinking like, why would you feel guilty for not feeling happiness? Well, imagine when your husband does something incredibly sweet for you unprompted and you know that you are like experiencing love and gratitude, but you're not feeling it. You're not feeling the feelings that you logically know that you should be having and experiencing. So there's been a lot of guilt associated with my hormonal imbalance when it comes to my marriage. And I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it for such a long time. And also I should mention that even once you do realize it, and even once you do start putting into action the things to repair, it's not a linear path, okay? There are still gonna be ups and downs. My hormones are in a way better position than they were 2 years ago or even 6 months ago. Do I still struggle determining where I want to fucking go to eat for dinner? Yes. Do I still struggle in actually feeling emotions and feeling happiness? Yes. The thing about perimenopause that I think a lot of people don't recognize and therefore don't talk about are the inconsistencies. Yes, your estrogen fluctuates, okay? But so does everything else. And when all of those things work with each other, when the estrogen and the dopamine and the cortisol are all working in conjunction with one another, and they're all inconsistent, yeah, you feel like a fucking nut, okay? Even if you have the most on-point protocol, it happens. You need to be gentle with yourself. And you need to make sure that your partner is aware of what's going on. I am so fucking lucky that my husband works with us at Savage Fitness because he understands. But I'm sure that this is not the case for most of us, So send your husband this podcast because if he doesn't understand, you're going to continue harboring that guilt, and that's not good for you. It's not good for him, and it's not good for your marriage. I didn't mean for this to be like a rant on marriage and relationships and stuff, but it really is all encompassing. You're going through a massive shift in your life, a massive identity shift. This isn't just hormonal. So I would say if you're noticing that you're having a difficult time making simple decisions, pay attention to how you feel when you're making bigger decisions. Whether or not you want to leave your job, whether or not you want to start that business, how long is it taking you to make these decisions, and how does it feel in terms of like your nervous system, Because when your nervous system is overloaded, your brain avoids decisions as a protective mechanism, right? So you become a procrastinator because your brain's trying to keep you safe. And I'm sorry, but procrastination is not the vehicle to growth, And especially in this phase of life, I don't know about you, but I feel like there's no time to be wasted. I'm 41. How many summers do I have left? Less than 20. I'm going to live past that, but let's be honest, after 60, I don't know how I'm going to be feeling or looking. So we want to make sure that we're not wasting time and procrastinating through our life. Start the business. So the best way to do this, like I said before, is restoring hormonal and nervous system balance. That in itself will help restore decisiveness. And going back to what I mentioned previously, it's going to help boost your dopamine, because that is so much more crucial than any of us give it credit for. So if you like this episode, please let me know. And if you are curious about what's going on with your hormones, maybe you don't know what lab work to run, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at sav_tastic. Click the link in my bio that says hormone quiz. Once you fill that out, we'll be able to determine where your specific hormonal imbalance is, because we're all different. Make sure that you respond to our messages, because we can't give you your results if we don't have some kind of interaction with you. This isn't the kind of quiz that you get a grade. It's the kind of quiz that we need more clarifying information so we can give you the exact roadmap when it comes to what lab work you need and so on. Okay. So anyway, like I said, hope you like this episode, and I'll see you next Tuesday. If this episode felt uncomfortably accurate, I want you to know you're not broken and you're not imagining this. You can follow me on Instagram at sav_tastic, where I talk about everything perimenopause, hormones, metabolism, and what actually works for women in this phase of life. And if you're ready to understand your hormones instead of just guessing or, again, being told that your labs are normal when you don't feel normal, check the link in the show notes. I'll talk to you next time.